This is a race series in Japan called Super GT. You may be wondering why I'm talking about this. Well, hopefully if you know me well enough, you'll know why I'm talking about this. It's because I want to make a race car like that. Now, why have I chosen that specifically? It's because they are silhouette race series, which means they're basically the basic car, except extremely modified, which is perfect for me, a minimal amount of 3D modeling. And I was looking through and I found this one, which is basically just a Subaru WRX taken to the absolute extreme. And we don't have a Subaru WRX in BeamNG, we do have the Sunburst. Now you may be thinking, oh, there's already wide bodies of this, Phil. I don't care. I want to make it my way. I will, however, give props to these people. They have made some cool looking wide bodies. They're just not the wide body that you would find on a Super Silhouette, which is wild and extreme. Before we get too far though, we need a baseline to know what it is that we want to beat. So we've got the hill climb car and we're gonna take it around the Suzuka racetrack, which is where these cars actually race. Okay, let's see what this bad boy can do. And I'm gonna guess that there's probably not gonna be like a huge difference because this is like a car which has had many hours spent on it. I'm going to try to make it over like the next 2 to 3 hours. It probably won't take more than that. We'll see though, as these projects tend to blow out a lot more. Do you know what is also blowing out? My subscriber numbers. And if you're not subscribed, help me get beyond this 32,000 subscribers that we have at the moment. Help me get to that 100k, please, bro. I just wanna be there. Oh, brake, turn in, accelerate out. This is actually pretty darn good. It could do with like a little bit more front downforce, I think. Well, we may come up with a plan to deal with that to make it variable at least. Oh, that almost ended up badly, but here we go. The other Lesmo. I'm actually not sure what these corners are called, but they do remind me of the Lesmos at Monaco. Very fun corners. Coming up now to the first hairpin. Oh, it wants to swap ends there, but we got it and kind of stuffed up the mid corner there. That was pretty abysmal. I feel that we're probably gonna make more power than this. I don't actually know how much power they're meant to make, but I feel that this thing's lacking in a little bit of power. I probably could have tuned it up a little bit to be full power, but I suppose we'll see. Then the second, oh, kinda hairpin. Okay, we needed more front traction and less rear brake then, because it just wanted to spin but also lock up the fronts. It was weird. But we're pretty good. I think the rear bias brakes are actually pretty good because it helps get that vehicle turned a little bit. I just maybe ended a little bit too hot. Alright, coming up to the final sweeping corner before we get to the last complex of chicanes here. Thank you to the person whoever ported this over. I'll get your name put in the description on screen. My brain is fried. Here we go. Okay, and coming down to the finish line. You can see that I've attempted this a few times up in the top right, and a 2:16 is the number to beat. All right. Let's see how we go. And the first thing we do, we yoink ourselves the 3D model, then try to decide which front bumper we're gonna go with. Probably this default one. This one looks a little too basic, and this one already has some stuff put on it, which I'm probably gonna have to remove anyway. Now, to do that to the rest of the body to find out what we want to keep and get rid of. Oh, there's a lot on here. The one big difference that's kind of glaring me right in the face at the moment is the fact that this is a normal monocoque, whereas apparently all of the current GT500s have a carbon fiber monocoque. Well, let's bring out one that we know is a carbon fiber monocoque and have a look to see how it's different. Gonna be honest, doesn't actually look that different. Do I potentially try to grab the monocoque from here and then try to somehow merge it onto this? Let's bring out the skin tiller. I could probably grab all of the suspension and everything as well. I mean, it is purpose built, which means that it wouldn't have normal suspension. Just grab basically all of the regular sort of stuff. Don't need anything engine related, leaving us with just the right stuff that we need. Try pasting it in here. Yep, that doesn't line up at all. How about on the other hand, we grab the body and put that in here and then try to line everything up to it. Does it have almost the same wheelbase? Interesting. And it's already nice and wide as well, which allows us to have a guide to what sort of width we want. I realized probably not going to fit the engine in there. And paste it in here. Yep, okay, that's a problem. You know what? I could rotate it and move it forwards and fit in this area, but I don't think that's going to work for me. For a few different reasons, one of which you really want the weight of the engine to be further back. Okay, let's start with this. Rotate this 90 degrees, then bring it back. It wants to be behind the front axle. That's where that's going to need to sit. Now, the normal driver's seat would have, like, feet going there. So that's gonna have to change as well. All I gotta do now is get this specialized monocoque to fit this engine, which, that's gonna be fun. Might be a word I could use. Let's grab everything back here, hide that so it doesn't get in the way. Then grab everything in the middle. Now, can I just simply move you back? Kinda, sorta. And you may be wondering why I've left the transmission here as well. Well, that's because I want to go with the transaxle, which is a very common thing for race cars. So that's gonna take the transmission all the way down here. I'm gonna have to figure out something here, but that shouldn't be too hard. I think we got this. I'm also realizing if this is gonna be like in the body area, we don't really need any of this frame. That can just bolt straight to the subframe like that, probably. Does that fit inside the body? Yes, it does. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Now, with all the futzing out of the way, I suppose now I gotta go do the body widening. I already really do not want to do this. Though I suppose this does look a little bit more like it's tacked on as opposed to a modified design of the fender. I don't know exactly how to do this. And also, I just noticed that the exhaust pipe is at the front? Sure. GX. How wide do we want to go? That's 10 centimeters wide. All I have to do now is basically just make the body panels look good. And I don't have the skill for that. So we could start by just widening out that. Now just do that 100 more times. And then I think I also want to really redesign this front bumper, like, a lot. Because you can see here, as always, it's only got really the one front aero part, and then the sides are very flat. Hey, that doesn't look so bad though. Yeah. Though, the front bumper, not great, and it's not going to be very good with, like any sort of livery on here with the way I've done it. Just ignore that. The next thing to do is the thing that I love the most, but don't get to do very often because, well, I'm lazy. And that is generally the air is meant to go in here and then come up here. That whole sort of air ramp. Yeah, I'm gonna try modifying this bonnet. I don't like my chances though. We're gonna start with an edge split, then grab just the parts we want to move down, which includes you as well. And down you go. Then unhide. And what do we got? It kind of works, just gotta do a lot of more work. I'm also gonna then have to move that further down. So I basically gotta get this to make it look as if there's like a radiator here, and then it comes up this way. So this has to come this way. All right. I'm, pretty already happy with that. That looks pretty cool. And especially since the engine's not even there, we don't need to worry too much about it.
The next morning.
This has been a lot of work, but I think we're ready to send it over to Boominger. I just realized there's so many things I have to change, like the body, the front bumper, the rear bumper, no, not different, rear doors, or actually technically rear doors wide I used. We'll change the engine, we'll change the engine mounts, the exhaust got changed, no fender flares, front fenders got changed, though I think I worked on the wide ones. It's just there's a lot that's happened here. Getting this all together is going to take quite some time, but at least I've already managed to get the front suspension from the Scintilla and the rear suspension and the rear subframe in from the Scintilla. So that's all looking pretty good, except I think I can open up the trunk and maybe put a fuel tank in there instead. Change this to SGT for Super GT. You know what, actually also put that there. SGT. And... oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to put the names in of the new fenders. There we go. And there we go. Oh, I haven't done this side. And this time, there we have it. Unfortunately, the fenders are not actually properly made. Then we'll grab probably those ones only and scale outwards. Please work first time round. Yes, perfect. This is almost starting to look like a vehicle. I suppose now I should do the daunting thing, which is put the engine in. You know, it's actually gotten a lot easier recently, so we're just gonna import the J-beam for the whole engine. Problem solved. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of junk in here. I should probably clean it up first. The 1.8 can go away. Oil pan, don't need that. Just go with the race one. Standard ECU, no. Sports, no. We're gonna go with the race only since this is a race vehicle. Actually, you know what? None of... wait, no, hold on. Does this have nodes? Yes, it has nodes, so we have to do that. ECU race, don't need that. Engine internals, we don't actually need any of those because none of those also have nodes. We could just use the base ones for those, making this a very simple import. I just realized the engine mounts are a problem. Screw it, we're only going to move just the engine so we can rotate that around. Engine mounts should be fine. Here's hoping. Oh wait, yeah, we get a lower center of gravity now. Nice. Oh, please work first time round. Nope, okay. Oh, that's because I haven't put the engine back into the allowed list of things. Plop you in there, make sure that this is the new SGT variant, and refresh. Hey, no, dear. That's not what the engine is meant to look like. And that's predominantly because I made a whoopsie. I was meant to use the new engine name. Now it should work fine. Close enough, right? Yep. That's what they always say. Though having a look, this is... yeah. That's right where it needs to be. Just the engine mounts are apparently all wacky. Then refresh. That should be attached. Yes, it is. And there's some weirdness going on, like the drive shaft, which is doing weird things. But perfect! Yes! I don't know how to fix this drive shaft thing. I don't get it. Oh my god. It has been like nearly a whole day, and I've only gotten this far. You can really see that changing out the chassis was probably a much bigger undertaking than what I initially thought. This is becoming a real problem child. And there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that I didn't think, like the wheel well needs to be modified to fit the new tires and everything. This is pretty wild stuff. I shouldn't have tried this. And then now that I'm looking at the weight, I'm nearly, I'm about 150 kilos off the original weight, so I've not really saved anything. God damn. Well, it's the next day. And as you can see, I have made a lot of progress. Though some things a little bit better than others, like, for instance, there's still no interior, and the drive shaft is still doing that. But... this is really coming together nicely now. I wonder how it drives. Rev her up. Oh, wait, no, it's a DCT, isn't it? Anyway, driving along fairly slow. Oh, this must be naturally aspirated. There has to be no turbo here. So let's start with building this engine up. If we have a look, the power number that we want is 485 kilowatts, so just shy of 500 kilowatts. And in the engine, no nitro system, drive shaft we'll deal with in a bit, adjustable race ECU, let's go a stage 2 performance long block and see if it'll blow up before we go much further on that one. For this, we got the turbo, and then we have the oil pan, and we are really short of our power number. That's like half. Let's try turning the boost pressure up. What'll 26 PSI get us? Oh, actually, we might be able to do this without having to go any drastic measures. Ooh, close. Unfortunately. Oh, wait, hold on. RPM limit. We can raise that up. 8,500 RPM? What do we get to now? Oh, yes. Okay, we're overpowered now, so we'll bring that down just a smidge. We want 480. So yeah, we got a lot of pressure in here. And there's our number with only 22 PSI, not bad. I feel that this thing really wants to rev out a lot though. So let's see what our new car is like. Oh, it's very peaky. And will it drift? I mean, it is only rear-wheel drive. There is no front drive in here. A lot of understeer. This thing needs front aero like nobody's business. I have an idea. Why don't we instead grab this, then scale it to be fairly flat that way, then lift it up. And this can be our downforce. Yeah, so this can lose all of its downforce and this can gain all of its downforce. And plop you in there. Will this work? I honestly don't know. Well, it is lifted up. So, Chungus off the line, really lost that higher RPM. It feels like we now have too much front downforce. It is struggling to keep in a straight line. Oh, goodness gracious. And the rear door is popped. That's a problem that I'm gonna have to fix. Yeah, too much front downforce. It's literally like trying to balance a broom on your hand tall ways. It's... oh. Okay, there we go. Balancing out a little bit now, 200 kilometers an hour, turn a little bit, and yeah, this is insane. Lift coefficient down to 150, and now getting to about 200-ish, turning, and okay, it's very twitchy, but nowhere near as bad. Okay, time to put in a variable. What I want is to be able to edit the height of the back of this at any point in time. That way, in effect, changing downforce amount. But there already is a splitter angle. Oh, interesting. So we have the default value, the minimum value, and the maximum value. So this is going to be up to like 1.5. No, hold on. I'm going to be playing in probably centimeters, right? 0.05 and 0.95. Easy done. Then on all of the z-axes, oh, I have to remember how to do this. I don't think I do. Bracket $ equals that value plus that one. End bracket. That doesn't seem right. That seems very wrong. God, it's been a really long time since I've done variables on my own. Now, luckily I have an old example. Okay, there's no quotation marks around that part. Dunk and dunk. Then this should also change to quotations instead of brackets. Okay, this is what we need. But, it seems to be... oh, they're all the way up there. Oh, default is meant to be 0 because I'm adding 0 centimeters. Okay, there we go. Now if we refresh, we'll be a little less dumb. There we go. Those are our numbers. Front splitter angle, if we change this, okay, well that's not meant to be a percentage, but there we go. Goes up a little bit, bring it this way, and it goes down a little bit. Perfect. How much do we weigh though? 1,300 kilos. Bugger. How much does a normal sunburst weigh? Please don't. Oh, 1,300 kilos. A full race spec, nearly 14. We did all of that work for less than 100 kilos. It can't be. That's impossible. All right, what are the heaviest nodes? And let's just try making them lighter. We've got some really big, heavy F1X nodes. Let's drop that down to 6. We'll halve it. And watch that completely break the game. Oh. That's not changed anything, but we are down in weight a little bit. All right, let's keep going with that sort of stuff. Well, a whole bunch of work later, and this is basically as light as we're gonna get it. 150 kilos lighter. I'm very disappointed. Oh my god, all of that work. Oh my god, basically for nothing. Jeez. All right, we're back to Suzuka. We've got our Kia here. It's all fantastic. I did like a little bit of testing, as you can see the witness marks there on the road. And then I realized I had no brakes on, so we're starting again. And there's one thing initially I've realized. This, unlike the other car, is not all-wheel drive, so it spins so much easier. It's pretty darn wild. I had troubles just getting off the line. It was that much of a pain in the butt. But let's see how it goes. I have not tuned the suspension. Oh, a little bit too much on the front brakes. But it feels fairly stable. I've got massive amounts of toe in on the rear to help rein in the amount of oversteer this thing gets. But you know what? For something that's kind of slapdash, it's doing all right. Oh, okay, I think I forgot to fix the rear door smashing issue, which I'm not entirely sure I know what that is. So we'll have to figure that out at some point. This will be up on the, it will be on the repository, but also has, by the time this video comes out, been on the my Patreon for a while. If you want early access, that's where you go to get my mods. Or if you're wondering about the Dorch Slapper, it's up there on the Patreon, but for free, so you don't have to pay for it if, yeah, you don't want to, obviously. All right, here we go. The hairpin, the first hairpin, and, oh, very slidey on the way out. Oh, I have to be very careful about this thing. It just wants to kill me constantly. You have to have nerves of steel. Yeah, this is not going to be a great lap. Oh, okay, here we go, here we go. Bringing it down. I'm trying to be nice and slow. Oh, I was meant to enter this wide, wasn't I? Front bumper damage. Did I hit a curb or something? Weird. All right, here we go. Powering it down. Got a nice long straight. Not gonna be the highest top speed because I really did stuff up the entrance of that last corner. Yeah, our top speed is significantly slower than the previous version of this car. And I do not have nerves of steel to try pelting this thing through corners right now. Okay, here we go. And then start finish line. Come on down. Yo! That was very close. Here we go. And across the line. Alrighty, I don't remember what the time was I did. This is significantly slower, and that's probably all down to not just my, like, jankily put together thing here, but also the fact that this has, no all-wheel drive. Like, that has to be the big thing here. Well, clearly, I need to brush up on my skills quite a bit, because I think that this car has the potential. It's just, I don't know how to push that hard, and I need to spend, like, if you were to really want to tune this in, you would have to take an extra day, and I'm already well overdue on having this video handed over to my editor, so that's just a real big problem. And you know what's also a real big problem? The fact that I haven't thanked my channel members yet. Yep, I shoehorned that in there. Especially my top tier channel members, the Rogue Tick, the Crayon Priest, and Gav the Stig. For the rest of you though, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.